time to crown our first ever round of 8 Neighbor Starleague player going to that winner's match.
Round of 8 champion for Group A. Crown them, man.
Crown that round of 8 player.
They need a trophy coming out of this ridiculous group, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
We've seen some crazy games so far from both series.
Yeah, we
really
have.
exciting.
And you know what's really cool is we're going to go into the same matchup again now, but Leenock has to play against a completely different player in Terminator. And I feel like, even though Super lost, I feel like his PvZ is much better than Terminator's. So Leenock might just be able to, with that first win, just pop right out of this group in first place.
I'm feeling that's 100% going to happen. Don't want to spoil you guys, but I'm feeling like Leenock is just on another level when it comes to ZVP, and Super was the one guy that had a chance to counter him.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Terminator got to watch those games and see exactly what Leenock did, Leenock will do something different these games.
Yeah, exactly. Watching Leenock's play, it's so hard to study or prepare. And keep in mind, Leenock actually brought Terminator into this group. He pulled him into the group because he wanted him to be in the group. Terminator also wanted to be in the group because he didn't want to be in Group D, so he did him a favor in that regard.
Yeah.
But how much of a favor is it really going to be here? Is Terminator going to have something special prepared here? Because Leenock is, like I said, the one who brought him here, and Terminator has to know there's a high chance he's going to face Leenock in that winner's match.
Yeah, I didn't know what Terminator was thinking, man. When Leenock invited him over, maybe he thought hey, come on over, man. It's going to be cool. Instead, it was like a scorpion hook, get over here. And fatality. That's what's going to happen, man.
At least there's 2 lives or there's 2 rounds because if he loses here, he will still have that final match to fall back on where he'll face either Super or Fantasy. Would not want to face Super in a PvP.
Nope.
Just hoping Fantasy wins that one.
Well, I don't know if I'd want to face Super in any matchup right now, man. He's just playing so damn good.
Yeah, he really, really is. So, really just expecting that Leenock is going to play strange builds here. Expect he's going to...
Very aggressive.
And
very wonky builds. Nice mind games. He can mind game off his mind games now. He's doing crazy stuff. And, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Terminator is going to play against him.
I wonder if Terminator bans Overgrowth. You almost never ban Overgrowth. Who bans Overgrowth? But, I might against Leenock.
Maybe, but, what does that mean he has to play is the next question.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to play... I would actually feel better playing against Leenock on Deadwing, even though normally most pros don't want to play against cross-spawn Deadwing. I'd be like, keep him away from me.
That could be the way to do it. Yeah, that could definitely be it.
So I don't know what bans we're going to see from Terminator, but I'm really curious about this one because
I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, what could he go? What could Terminator do that could really give him the edge? Because I feel like Super tried a lot of things, and obviously it was a lot of early game oriented things. Maybe Terminator wants to go to the late game and play it that way.
Yeah, follow Hero's example, for example.
Yeah.
Just take that late game, into Void Rays, defend against, the mid-game Swarm Host with your Colossi, take a 4th base kind of turtle, and test Leenock's late game, because Leenock actually usually succeeds when he's the one who's putting on pressure, constantly aggressive.
With the tech switches and whatnot, if you can hold that off, go to the late game, be ready for his Muta switch, be ready for that Swarm Host style, maybe.
That could be the way to do it. It's definitely easier said than done, but
it is.
We'll have to see what the maps are, too, because I feel like the maps are going to kind of set somewhat of a precedent as to how Terminator is going to take a look at the series. And, we haven't gotten into it just yet. We have some downtime here, so it definitely could be involved due to the map picks and bans. It could also be related to Terminator perhaps talking to his coach a little bit, saying, I really need to figure out what's going on here.
What do I do, coach?
What's the plan here?
What do I do, man? Super lost.
I hope SOS came down to the studio today. Maybe give him a tip or 2.
Well, SOS also went down to Leenock, so
that's true.
And also an extremely crazy game. Leenock has this tendency to just have these ridiculous games with Protosses, man.
Well, if I'm SOS, I probably feel really terrible after that loss. Probably studying Leenock just because he wants revenge to one day be able to defeat this player.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a comfortable position here for Terminator.
It's not.
And I hope that he's got a plan. I wouldn't mind to see just a Phoenix opening, poke, harass, even an Oracle opening, take a fast third, turtle up.
I don't mind Oracle openings, but I feel like at the same time, Leenock, he does a lot of hatch first, so I do appreciate the Forge, the Forge openings and just trying to punish him for that, but at the same time, if Leenock's doing the kind of style where he's expanding at a base over or something,
yeah,
maybe you go that step further and send 2 probes out. Check different bases. Like
Yeah.
that is a way that Protosses go for forge cannon rushes. They do scout multiple locations.
Leenock does really love to go double hatch before pool a ton. So, I mean, if you can... He had, for example, in that last game, he known that Leenock went for the third base first. He could have punished that so easily. He would have been able to cancel that for free. Might have even been able to then start putting some cannons up in the natural. I mean, if he had just known, if he had just checked that location, because Leenock loves that build. He did a great mind game.
You could also go for proxy, like proxy gates.
Leenock did check for proxies.
He
checked the top of his base.
Got to make sure it's some wonky plays so like that he probably won't check, and then maybe it'd work. Because I mean, if you're going 2 hash before pool, like you could put it pretty far back and it can still kill you.
Yeah.
So that's just another way to look at it.
Yeah, that's definitely something I didn't really think about, proxies. Well, we've talked a lot about all the possibilities, all the openings. Let's take a look at the maps here. I believe that's what we're going to take a look at first. Okay, bans on Deadwing and Nimbus, and for Terminator he bans Foxtrot and Merry-Go-Round. So
all right, that's definitely good bans.
Good bans from Leenock as well, knowing his style. Banning Deadwing and Nimbus, I think those are great choices.
Yeah, I completely agree with this ideas. And then like getting rid of Foxtrot, obviously another map with gold on it. Do not want to give Leenock gold bases, but at the same time, Merry-Go-Round is such a hard map against Zerg because that third base is so hard to secure that you might as well take the hit with Overgrowth.
Right. Now, the ban on Nimbus makes a lot of sense because if you're Leenock, you always want to do run-bys, you want to counterattack. A backdoor expansion is hard to do that on.
Yeah.
And Deadwing, like I said, it's if you get cross spawns, if you're playing Leenock style, you always want to be aggressive. You always want to counterattack with Roach Hydra, for example. That faraway base, very difficult to hit if you're on Deadwing, the cross spawns especially. So a good ban for his style.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's going to be a very, very interesting best of 3. I'm very excited to see what Terminator has planned.
So am I, Moonglade. Let's go into game number 1 of the winners match here for Group A of the round 16 of the Neighbor Starleague. Top right in red, it's Leenock, the world's best ZVP right now. People everywhere running up taking pictures of him. The bottom right in blue, it's Terminator. Narrow victory over Fantasy, showing some flexibility, some adaptation in a best of 3 against somebody who was playing the same style repeatedly. Got punished.
Exact same style, 3 games in a row.
Fans from all over the world coming down to watch the Starleague.
He had cool style, but I think he would be pretty cold out there in the wind.
Yes. It's pretty windy today.
It is getting really windy. And we are seeing that pylon in the main base. Most likely going to be that gateway or nexus first.
Is that going to be 11 gate?
Ooh, Mr. Aggressive.
Very, very fast. Gateway first.
Nice
fast
and
warp gate research.
Yeah, we'll wait and see if he's going to be aggressive with maybe an early tech. But
one base
time,
DTs.
One base. Hey, man. Bring it back. At the same time, though, we are seeing 14-14 from Leenock, something that's also incredibly uncommon.
Yeah. This is Leenock for you. You can never know what he's going to do.
He's just crazy, man.
We could talk until the sun rises about how many games Leenock has gone double hatch for pool and how it's his most common ZVP opener, but then he'll just go 14-14, which is like a old school 2010, 2011 build.
Yeah, that's like start of Wings of Liberty build.
That's like Idra's like, this is the best build because everyone 4 gates.
Oh man, yeah, way back when. But it could still work. It's going to really catch him off guard, especially if he scouts him late, which he is, because he's scouting into the. He's going to be scouting the 9 o'clock position first. Terminator. It's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah. That's
actually he scouted the Overlord pathing.
Yeah,
and he didn't see the Overlord, so he's going to go top.
That's pretty clever.
Very smart lad we have. Going to go for those 4 lings and that fast speed. But not going to be committing any more to gas, so he just wants to get that fast Zergling speed out.
So curious what this is going to be for Terminator. Obviously, he rushes out the Mothership Core first.
Yeah.
Looks like he might just plant a Nexus. He's not making any probes right now.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for that Nexus, and he's going to be pretty safe to do so because he's going to have that Mothership Core out in plenty of time. So very, very nicely done.
Annoying
from Terminator.
Annoying that he doesn't see the gas timing here for Leenock, but he can reasonably assume that with no hatchery or even any drones coming down at that moment, that it'd be pretty weird if he had 4 Lings at this timing and no hatch.
Yeah.
So. Doesn't know for sure, though. Is just going to go ahead and set up a wall here at the top of his secondary ramp.
He absolutely has to set up a wall, I think, before putting down a Nexus. Otherwise, the Zerglings are just going to simply run by, and he's going to have to be defending 2 bases against Speedlings this early in the game.
This is awkward. Stalker, once it comes out, can easily push these Lings back, but the Zealot is too slow.
Yeah, he really just put 2 gateways in the front now before Speed finishes. It's moments away from finishing.
Yeah, this is actually so scary. Oh, and the Nexus is going to get denied. It's time to just put those gates down, I think.
He puts down the Nexus, but I mean...
There's only 6 Lings on the map, though. It's not like he's got 12 Lings about to run in or something.
If he committed just a little bit more, I think he was kind of just assuming.
Still, I mean, these Lings are going to kill Probe, and they might get into the main here.
It could very well. There is a Stalker in the main. Psychic will all stabilize. Not too much damage will come off this early Speedlings, but Leenock kind of just takes map control for now. Secures his natural.
A lot of gas here for Terminator for him to drop his tech down. 2 gates first at that wall and a sentry. Might just put a Robo down. Wouldn't be surprised.
A Robo? You reckon? I reckon a Forge would be a great choice right now.
Well, he definitely is going to need that. I just mean for, like, what sort of gas tech is he going to show us first?
Well, because he had to commit so much into Stalkers and then a Sentry and a Mothership Core on 1 gas, I feel like whatever he goes, it's going to be delayed to a point where it is probably going to be pretty ineffective. He could put down, I guess, the Stargate, because he has enough kind of gas for it now, and he hasn't really committed to anything else so far.
Well, he's got 4 gates, several which, you know, coming up very late here. And,
still just not committing to anything.
No tech.
With that gas. He could be maybe waiting for more sentries and just really committing on the probe sort of production for now.
He has 4, right? I didn't miscount, like just 4 gates.
There we go, 3 more sentries. Yeah, 4 gates.
So he might pressure with the sentries and take a 3rd base. He got sentries to fall back to hold his 3rd. Use that Mothership Core energy. He's got 175 right now to just recall back after he moves out on the map. I think it would be a pretty solid choice. Uncommon. But Leenock's 3rd base is very late. There's an awkward sort of opening he did with that fast speed.
Yeah, it is a very uncommon sort of build. And we are seeing Probe go out on the map.
Will get shut down, though.
Yep. Wait. Nope.
He just clicked on those Lings, too. I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah.
Looks like he's just tapping the hotkey, not actually looking.
Yeah. He might come back to regret that one.
Well, the Lings are still out there, and this Overlord actually lives. So he can't hide things for much longer. Whatever he's going to do is about to be shown.
And I think he's definitely going for that 4-gate sort of pressure. I don't see him expanding off this, right?
No, he definitely doesn't have a Nexus coming up yet. He wants Leenock to think he's going to. I think he actually will make a Nexus.
Yeah, eventually, but he is really committing to this.
Yeah,
really wants to force out a lot of units. Yeah, he's making roaches now, so he should be completely fine, but obviously does not want to commit a little too much to this.
There's no Forge upgrades, of course, on these Zealots, so these Lings are pretty strong if they get on top of those sentries.
Leenock would be very, very happy if this wasn't all in, because he is pretty prepared for it. +1 melee, almost finished. Roaches on the way. Spinecrawler in position. Good creep spread to the 3rd base. And here we go.
Okay, Zealot's getting some great fights here with these Lings, but here come the rest of them from behind. A lot of those Lings get on top of the sentries. Do knock out those shields. Now the Roaches can just come in here and pop them one by one. Right-click targeting on those sentries. And now with Roaches popping out here, the spine, that melee upgrade you were talking about, Leenock holds us the flying colors. Well, actually,
there's still...
Where are the rest of his Roaches?
He just kind of like suicided just a little too much. He time warps, definitely going to claim a couple of them. Leenock still definitely has enough time to kind of remax and get more than enough units to hold this off.
Oh, they have more Roaches than that. They're popping out now.
He should be fine from here
on out. He's going to hold, but I mean, that was a lot of damage.
And Terminator, yeah, just committing a little too much.
He never made a 3rd Nexus, keep in mind as well, guys, so... Mothership Core just kind of falls here, which means there's no retreat.
Pretty healthy amount of Stalkers. And he does have a couple of force fields with that sentry.
Oh, God, and there's no Lings whatsoever on the map, not even a single one.
Ooh, Leenock overcommitting a little too much with a very, very disadvantageous English.
Disadvantageous engagement.
Disadvantageous engagement. Numbers and army, man. Like,
his comp was perhaps mismanaged briefly here, but 26 Lings pop out to join this army. They will eventually push this back.
With +1 melee, this should be more than easy. Nick rates around on the Stalkers.
Yep, then just pull those Lings away. The last second here, well, ends up just fighting the Zealot anyways, but the Roaches will clean this up. Stalkers trying to retreat.
He saves one. Third base can be droned up now and will be in Lair on the way, halfway done.
Still no third base or Terminator. He knows he can't take one against +1 Lings when he's got like a total Grand Army of 2 Sentries and a Stalker. So this is kind of awkward for Terminator right now because his third base is just going to be delayed by Lings for the time being. He's going to lose his probe as well. And Leenock can just drone heavily now, knowing that there's nothing in the world that can pressure him or kill him right now.
I would love to see him go to 6 gas, just be as greedy as possible, go into meter, put down that Spire, and continue to apply pressure with those upgraded Zerglings. But yeah, he has so much time on his hands because when you've lost this sort of gateway all-in like this off that Terminator did, like, what can you possibly do? Like, Leenock, the only thing Leenock has to really be worried about is the follow-up all-in that's going to come because there's no way you can really have a macro game after this unless you've done a lot of economic damage.
Yeah, so he just needs to prepare. He needs to identify what it is. That Overseer that didn't die is actually pretty important because he can come back in and check in a second. Are a bunch of gates being added? You're making Immortals. What are you doing? He may have actually died, by the way. It looks like it did right after I said that. But he's got Overlords nearby. He's making a new Overseer. Just constantly checking and finding out what it is.
He saw everything he needed to see, and this is going to give away even more of what Terminator's plan is. He's going to expand, and he's going to go into gateway units. So it's like gateway robo units. He knows what he has to do.
You think the next step is Hydralis here?
Hydras would be a good choice. It looks. I feel like he's going to go for that massive Ling Roach sort of aggression. He is only sitting on 4 gases for now.
Ooh, he could actually get a lot of Lings trapped in here.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with that.
Very quick reaction to pull back in time there. I don't know about this. This is asking to get force fielded in with those Lings, but Roaches do come to the right side.
This is very, very hard for the situation. He's going to try and use up all those force fields and... oh, he could just maybe just run in.
Oh, force field is so late and he misses it. He misses that force field. And that means these Lings are going to kill that Immortal and just run right into the main base.
Oh, man.
And if he abandons his third, remember that if he abandons his third, Leenock can come in there as well. And that's what we're going to see him do. Okay, he just considers it, decides not to, wants to fight on the high ground instead.
Well, he can just wait. He can just wait forever, man. Like, he's gained that momentum control once again that we saw him do against Super. And from here, what's he going to do? He's going to try and wipe out one side. He's going to burrow. There's nothing there to detect it. Not for now.
Another Immortal gets picked off here. There's no mining in this base. There's only one Observer about to be on the map, so he can't actually stop the burrow at both locations at once, which is a very big problem. And Lings are still nearby. He unburrows on top of those sentries, picking them off here. Force fields do go down to save him for now. Wants to pull those Lings away. Terminator trying to hold on, but oh man, he misses a force field. Then his Zealot's out of position. It's got to be so salty right now.
Oh man, pouring on that PJ Salt, that main base taking so much damage. The Roach is just right-clicking the main Nexus now. And he's going into burrowed Roaches, but he could just make a Spire and just do it any way he wants. He can freestyle at this point.
He could make Swarm Hosts at this point almost.
He can go Broodlords, dude. He's got time.
Well, poor Terminator. Don't think there's a way out of this one. Burrow movement's about to finish. And then he could just finish the game that way with +2 Roaches.
Now they have burrow movement.
Yeah.
Oh, and he sees it too. These sneaky
like
Roaches just bailing out.
Still able to basically escape because there's no Protoss units to kill him. He's got triple the army supply. And this is the killing blow. Roaches stream in. Force field, what's that? I don't care.
Gotta get rid of that pylon first. Makes his way in. Gonna get the natural.
Just pokes it down. GG.
All right. Leenock. Once again, deflecting the aggression from the Protoss and just playing his own style, playing his own aggression. Once he gets into that kind of that rhythm, man, that momentum,